Hi, my name is Rebecca Jones-Gaston, and I'm Executive Director for Social Services Administration for Maryland's Department of Human Resources. That's a long way of saying I am the Director for Child Welfare Services and Adult Welfare Services.
What unique perspectives do you think you would bring to your team?
So I always say that my involvement in child welfare started at conception. My parents were an interracial couple, young and in college, and made an adoption plan. And I actually ended up in foster care for several months before I was placed with my adoptive family. I grew up in a very small town where I was the only person of color in my family and in my community. And that really was kind of the launching pad for the lens in which I would walk through life with. So understanding how families are built, dynamics of birth parents and adoptive parents, as well as the complexities of race. And so I hopped on a plane and headed to Washington, D.C. to study psychology and then ultimately social work. And then I became a single parent and really came to understand what systems mean to families. So I was single, the lens of economic status, the complexities, as I said, about race, and all of those sort of things swirling around having to make the right decision, having fear, kind of woven into, if I'm not doing it right or if I'm not doing it in the right place or in the right manner, that this would impact whether or not I actually am seen as a good parent or making the right choices for my son. And then I went into casework and worked in the front lines, and then ultimately into adoption, and worked at helping agencies recruit and retain foster and adoptive families. And all of those lessons that I had learned along the way came into play as I was able to develop outreach mechanisms to find families for the kids in foster care. And then throughout that process, gaining some more knowledge and experience and moving into an organization that provides technical assistance to child welfare agencies across the country, and being able to see that the systems aren't working, the child welfare system isn't working anywhere. There are pockets of good things happening, but as a system, it really is in need of a facelift per se. And then I landed in Maryland as the executive director and am working to weave in trauma-informed care into the evidence-based practices that we have, the family-centered engagement, and the system change across the state.
Describe your interest in helping to reinvent the child welfare system.
So child welfare really started as a rescue mechanism for removing children from their families when their families didn't have enough money, didn't have housing, had some sort of mental health or health crisis. And the answer really was, let's take the children out of the home and they will be better off. And it wasn't focused on providing services to the family. The evolution that child welfare has had is really coming to understand that children do far better in families and in their own families, and that families are in communities, and the communities need to be strong to support the family unit. And as child welfare is becoming more and more integrated with understanding public health challenges, as well as trauma and different approaches to building evidence around practice, it is coming a long way to really looking at a child as part of this broader community, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
What do you expect to be your greatest contribution to the design process?
So one of the things that has always been easy for me, is I'm okay with change. I'm okay with the ambiguity that comes with it, of not necessarily always knowing what is the next step. I like to figure things out. I like to take a look at different components and possibilities of solutions and figuring out how we weave them together for a new way forward. And I would say I am easy to get along with, and I'm a little bossy. And what that means is that I can help shepherd others through change, and where change might cause some folks to hesitate or get stuck in the uncertainty, I'm able to kind of forge forward and support people in taking that first step in figuring out new solutions for a problem. So I think all of that provides some unique perspective in being able to contribute to the work of this project. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for consideration, and I look forward to meeting you.